Hey guys, so I've got another base for you today. So this one here is also being quite successful. So when I was making this base, I was basically like, okay, I don't want to make another kill box. Everyone makes kill boxes, they're kind of boring. I want to try something new. And I've seen some bases where they use a lot of units above ground, but I decided I want to make one where it's sort of like you go down into a bunker. So first things to notice is that there are quite a few deaths on this. We've had 14 deaths in 3 attempts, and 2 of those were by very high level players with very good gear. And granted, this is a map that can be kind of vulnerable, I guess, to high level players with the right gear. So the first thing you notice is there's a hole in the ground. This is where almost all the deaths are, as you can see. There's an absolute ton of them. So what happens is players, for some reason, they always want to explore that hole over there, which leads to this guy. Sometimes picking them off, or alternatively ending up in here, which means you can get them on their second run. But he's been very useful in that sense. So what happens is players come down here and they say, okay, there's a lava cube, I see that, okay, I need to be cautious of that. And then they step further forwards and these 2 blocks on either side disappear, which opens them up. And in front of them is a whole lot of enemies, plus the ceiling is irregular shapes, which also kind of helps confuse players, and I was thinking of decorating some of it to make it even more confusing. So what happens is they then start trying to clear them out. The thing is, there's a lot of different ones shooting from lots of different angles, and even with the really high level players with the right equipment and the right weapons to take on lots of enemies, they tend to get caught out. So while they're busy shooting, this guy can come up, he can slash them. It's not really the most likely thing to happen. And however, he does have armor, which goes off and makes him a lot more of a threat. And so he can come and wander up. Alternatively, there's 3 guys over here. There's another guy tucked away in the back here. I was thinking of putting another guy here, but I didn't quite have enough capacity. And I thought he might be a little bit easy to pick off. You've got other guys at the top and a plasma sentinel. The reason I picked the plasma sentinel was if you just put heaps of standard guys, people will generally immediately switch to the ranged weapon that picks off basic guys really easily. I forget it was called, but it's got 15 shots and it's very powerful. So alternatively, by doing it this way, mixing it up with that plasma sentinel, I found people don't tend to switch right away. So once people pick those off, and most of the deaths are from people stuffing up with picking those off, then they come into here. This looks fine, lots of clear surfaces, I can see the lava, I can see the gem mat. They come down here, they say, oh, there's a lava cube in front of me, and for some reason the majority of them seem to just run up and take this, and then these bounce down, and these are chaos bombs, so they bounce down and go down to here. And some players the first player died twice here, once from getting hit by one of the bombs, and the other time by jumping into the cube, which of course was obviously very beneficial. But at this stage, this doesn't have any second wave traps or anything. It's pretty simple. A player could potentially just jump straight through, and that's why I've got a death blossom here, just because one player did. After dying a few times, came down here, grappled across, grappled here, grappled up, grappled down, and he basically got lucky and dodged everything and then ran into the air, and yeah, so not a foolproof design. However, it's an example of how you can use lots of enemies and a different layout of space to try and make like a really simple base. And granted, this is only a tier 1 base, however, his farmed quite a lot of deaths. It looks like it's going to continue to farm a lot of deaths. So just I guess a different way of thinking about how you want to make your bases and how you present it. Apologies, got the Rona. But anyway, yeah, the other thing was also I recommend this guy, or using ones like this guy, and I need to upgrade him. But what you do is you put a armoured visible guy and put him off to the side. Either I was originally putting him here, but you could actually kind of see him from the start because these guys do stand out against the background, but not against the main base. But put someone like this on and then have them do a route where they just run up behind the player after a little delay and then come in. And it's amazing how often people get caught out by that because they're so focused on dealing with the immediate trap that they get caught out by this guy and don't realise it. So these ones here, for example, are killed by assassin. So what happened is, first time he came up here, started shooting down and looking down, and then that guy just charged him and took him out. Actually no, I think the first time, yeah, he got killed by it there, so he was already down here shooting and stuff, and suddenly the other thing behind him, they got him. The next time he comes down, and he's being cautious and aiming down there and looking at the other sides, and then it attacks from the side. And the final time he came out here, was still very confused about where it was, and it charged from here, and from that point on he knew where it was, but it got him 3 deaths. So definitely a tactic I recommend using. Once again, if you have any recommendations about changing the bases, upgrades, and also possibly how to decorate with this one to make it look a little bit more pretty and a bit more interesting, please let me know. I'm about to prestige it, so I'm going to have some more points to spend. It might be quite cool to see if there's any ideas on how to upgrade and do additional traps while keeping it a low danger rating, because that's kind of what I'm aiming to do. And I'm sure there's some really good ideas in the comments, so feel free to comment. As always, like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Granted, not looking to make this channel professional, but at the same time it's kind of cool, and it encourages me to keep making videos, so that's always good. And it's nice to see that the numbers have kind of gradually gone up over time. Yep, so that's me, and yeah, like, subscribe, all the normal stuff, and thanks for watching.